Our dream, it starts now. On that note, I would like to take this opportunity to invite on the dais Dr. Preeta Reddy, Vice Chairperson, Apollo Hospitals Enterprise Limited, to kindly address this august gathering.
Namaste to everyone who is here today to make a difference. People from all over the world, people who belong to healthcare institutions, who are healthcare influencers, who are healthcare imaginers. You're all here to dream big, but I will urge you to say that our dream, it starts now. And all dreams, when it comes to making the world a better place for mankind, will all come true. Thank you all for being part of this wonderful conference and joining us here today. Personally, for me, I'm excited. I think it's amazing that the team has put together this conference consistently, and this is the 9th edition of Transforming Healthcare with IT. Sustaining good work always makes a difference, and doing this and seeing it grow 9 years in a row is tremendous. Can we give all of us a big hand for doing this? And it is also the 8th International Patient Safety Congress, and this doesn't happen very easily. To get people committed to patient safety, to high-quality clinical outcomes, and get them to congregate year on year has been a tremendous achievement, and we need a big round of applause for that also. So while I welcome our chairman, our incredible dignitaries who have flown from all over the world to be here, I also welcome 3,000 delegates at this conference, 250 speakers who will be handling plenaries and more than 30 breakout sessions, about 17 MOUs which are going to be signed, which again I think is incredible, and all this, a congregation of health providers, decision makers, influencers, and catalysts for positive change. Welcome to all of you for this very significant morning and this wonderful conference. When we talk about change and when we talk about challenges, I always feel, and Apollo as a tribe always feels, that when there is a challenge and when there is a requirement for change, and if it's going to impact positive outcomes in patient safety, if it's going to impact positive outcomes in the way we do things, can we make it a smarter, a better, a quicker, and a more accessible healthcare ecosystem, not only in our country, but globally? The lessons to be learned from the Indian subcontinent about how can access, affordability, and accountability be done to such a finely tuned, finely honed way, and can these lessons be provided to the rest of the world? Similarly, we always look upon the developed countries for the way they handle and harness human intelligence to come and deliver products which are better, faster, quicker, and more efficient. Can we do all this together and make it accessible to every human being who needs healthcare? I think that's really what the dream will be. And ladies and gentlemen, it does really start now. As always, healthcare adopted technology, and especially information technology, a bit later than all the other industries. But it has grown in leaps and bounds, and today by the time you can pick up a file or a record or do a simple test, The results have gone to any part of the globe if wanted, especially halfway across the globe, and we can have a diagnosis, a second opinion, an intervention as quickly as we can imagine. That is a dream come true. Can we give a second opinion? Can we access remote locations and tell people what to do when they are worried about healthcare interventions? Telemedicine has provided the answer, and Dr. Ganapathy and his team have shown the rest of the world how things like that can be done. I think that has been a front runner. Can we train manpower to make a difference? And the skilling which is happening now in our country as a movement, that has shown the way. And I'm proud to say that a young girl from a very remote village in India who could barely speak English has won a global recognition for being one of the best patient safety advocates in the world. I think that is recognition again. So we have to dream big, because today everyone sitting here is not dreaming for themselves. You are not dreaming for your family only, you're not dreaming for your parents or your children, you're dreaming for the rest of the world. So there is no harm, there is nothing wrong in dreaming big, but it has to be a commitment that every patient who comes within your ecosystem has to have a promise of safe healthcare. Their outcomes should be in such a way that it's zero error proof. And we can do it. And technology will have to see how can we deliver quicker, better, faster. We love the AAA system in our enterprise, which is affordable, accountable, and accessible healthcare. Can we find solutions to do this consistently, not only for this part of the world, but for the rest of the world? So as responsible citizens, decision makers again, and powerful influencers, like I said, each of us needs to think. We need to think hard, and we need to think deep, and say, how can we fight diabetes? Can we make it disease-free? How can we motivate individuals to screen regularly? How can primary care be strengthened in the absence of adequate resources? Can design thinking really help with elderly care? How can we seamlessly share knowledge between the medical professionals and the support professionals, like me, for instance? Can we make emergency care models become much more effective than they are today? Can big data really help us to take more prudent decisions for the sector? What can we do to enhance patient satisfaction? And here I must say that while we always focus on IQ, it's the EQ in the healthcare system which is important. And can patient satisfaction really be looked at as the emotional quotient of an organization? What can we do to cut costs, yet never cut on quality, and continue to be sustainable? I think with all the brains in this hall, and all the brains who are watching us from all over the world, the answers are there. The answers are not in the wind, but the answers are there in your minds. Thank you all for being here to transform the way healthcare is delivered in India, in the neighboring countries, in the countries who need it maybe much more than some others, but definitely globally. In Indian philosophy, before I close, I'd like to share this with all of you, that if all of you sincerely put your hand on your heart and dream that I am a healthcare provider, influencer, conqueror, and I'm in charge, and I will make a difference, however big or however small, to somebody in the world who needs it, you will actually be able to do that. I strongly urge all of you to look after your health and the health of the globe, and spend 1 second every day thinking about the health of the nation. Can we all do that? Please remember the conference. Please remember all of that. Spend that 1 second. And before I close, I'd like to say that in Indian philosophy, there is an angel out there which says, for everything you wish for, that angel says, Tadastu. Tadastu means, so be it and let it happen. So when you dream for the greater good of mankind, for the greater good for humanity, and spend that 1 second saying, I will make a difference for my own health, for preventing disease, and for the rest of the community, that angel up there will say, Tadastu, so be it, so let it be. And on this note, may all your dreams come true, and please dare to dream big. I would also like to thank, and later on they will be welcomed on the stage, Dr. Ahmadu Samantak, Honorable Health Minister of the Gambia, Her Excellency Ms. Zainaba Jagne, High Commissioner of the Gambia in New Delhi, Dr. Joseph Bulanda Nasami, the Honorable Health Minister from the province and the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ms. Ruth, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health of Botswana, Mr. Harold Luke, the Acting High Commissioner, the High Commissioner of Botswana, Dr. Tse, the Secretary of State, Ministry of Health of Cambodia. It's a little difficult to pronounce, I don't want to mess that up. The Ambassador of Senegal, Mr. Bruce Roussard from Humana, and our good friend Mark Britnell, the head of KPMG Health Sciences globally, who's been a mentor, a guide to Sangeeta, who has thought through this whole conference consistently and brilliantly, I must say, and your support has been extremely valuable to us. Shravan, who is also a good friend and in the gathering, Mr. Eyal Gura, the CEO of Zebra, and many others who occupy the front row. Your presence has really reinforced our faith that we can make a difference in the healthcare globally. Thank you all, and namaste.
A fusion of patient safety and IT and healthcare at the 8th International Patient Safety Conference and 9th Transforming Healthcare with Information Technology. Healthcare has a poor safety record compared to other industries. 1 in 10 patients are likely to be harmed while in the hospital. 20 to 40% of all health spending is wasted due to poor quality care. As healthcare providers, it's our most important responsibility to do justice to our profession, to give the patients the quality care they require. For the past 9 years, through these twin conferences, we have been continuously thriving to share our learnings with each other, to further improve the quality of healthcare. During these 2 days, we will be covering topics on imagining a perfect world, leveraging innovation to revolutionize the healthcare sector, and building the best workforce to fill the needs of future healthcare. We'll be talking about healthcare safety and fueling the future of diagnostics with Lab 2.0, the leadership mantras to drive new age strategies, and thinking the media effect on what patients want. Unlocking the potential of healthcare and IT to improve patient safety measures in small format hospital facilities. We will be experiencing the powerful mind of global leaders with their interactive sessions. An insightful session on the modernization of healthcare with Thinking Big and incisive workshops on basic life support. How AI can and is boosting the prospects of healthcare, and to bring forth standardized policies to digital healthcare in India. Across 38 breakout sessions, 200 plus speakers, 5 joint plenary sessions, practical theme-based sessions, Experience innovative exhibition and display, and join us for International Patient Safety Awards and Chime THIT Awards. Let us pledge ourselves for patient safety, deploying and adopting the right technology in the right context to get the right outcomes. We welcome all 2,000 plus delegates from 30 different countries. Let's innovate, inspire, imagine.
Light symbolizes wisdom and knowledge, and all auspicious functions commence with the lighting of the lamp. I now request Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, Chairman, Apollo Hospital Enterprise Limited, Dr. Preeta Reddy, Vice Chairperson, Apollo Hospital Enterprise Limited, Dr. Amada Lamin Samate, Honorable Health Minister of Gambia, Honorable Dr. Joseph Bulan Sambi, Minister of Health, Lubumbashi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ms. Ruth, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health and Wellness, Botswana, Dr. Shravan Subramanian, Managing Director, Roche Diagnostics, India, His Excellency Dr. T.E. Kyusang, Secretary of State for Health Ministry of Health, Cambodia, Dr. Wang Yung Lee, Chairman of CEO, Myongyi Medical, Mr. Roos Brunzel, President and CEO, Chime, Mr. Mark Frost, CIO, Intermountain, Mr. Kali Durgamburi, Chief Innovation Officer, Greenway Health, Mr. Ananth Maheshwari, President, Microsoft India, Mr. A.L. Gura, CEO, Zebra Med, Mr. Bruce Broussard, President and Chief Executive Officer, Humana, Dr. Mark Britnell, Global Chairman and Senior Partner for Healthcare Government Infrastructure, KPMG, and our senior dignitaries. May I please request you to come forth for the lamp lighting ceremony.
Namo
very big thank you to Chairman Sir and to all our senior dignitaries.
The Healthcare Manpower Plan 2020 outlines strategies to prepare our healthcare workforce for the future. To get a better understanding of the healthcare manpower of the future, we have amongst us Dr. Mark Britnell, Global Chairman and Senior Partner for Healthcare, Government and Infrastructure KPMG. Dr. Mark is one of the foremost global experts on healthcare systems and has a pioneering and inspiring global vision for health in both the developed and developing world. He has dedicated his professional life to healthcare and has led organizations at local, regional and global levels. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Mark Britnell.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me now? I am so grateful to be invited by Dr. Reddy and his formidable management team and, of course, his family. This is my 22nd visit to India over the last 20 years or so, but it's my first visit to Hyderabad. It's the most beautiful, wonderful city full of history and charm. I've been asked to speak for no more than 15 minutes on a big issue which is confronting the world, and it's also certainly confronting India, and this is the global workforce challenge. Now, recently, over the last 4 months, with the help of Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, my good friend, I have published a book which is already sold out in just 4 months. And this book looks at all of my knowledge and all of my observations with working in 79 countries over the last 10 years. I have a great privilege of working in about 3 countries every month. This week India, next week Portugal, the week after that New York City. And during my travels and my 30-year experience in healthcare, I have come to realise that one of the largest challenges that we face in healthcare, which is crucial to patient safety, is the workforce crisis. Now, you will be aware of the truism that there can be no healthcare without a workforce. There can be no safe healthcare without an adequate workforce that is motivated and feels joy and inspiration at work, so they can offer care in a dignified way to the patients, the populations and the communities that we serve. Now, for a 4-year period, I had the honour of being one of the 12 members of the Global Workforce Council, Health Council, for the World Economic Forum. And during that time, of course, we look at developments in the developing world and also the developed world as well. And my first book, which was published back in 2015, looked at the strength and weaknesses of many of the countries that I have worked in. It was called In Search of the Perfect Health System. I'm sorry to say that I'm still searching for the perfect health system. But in the first book, which, as you can see, sold in 109 countries, published in Mandarin, Korean, Portuguese and English, I identified in 2015 a growing concern amongst health organisations in both the developed world and the developing world. And this issue of workforce, I was delighted when Dr. Reddy and the team at Apollo invited me to speak today about this issue because, as you know, in India, now with the wonderful developments through Modi Care and your pursuit of universal health care, affordable care for all, this issue of manpower will become critical to your nation because, quite simply, universal health care is the greatest gift a country can give its people. But a country cannot give its people this great gift if it does not have enough staff. Now, I will talk about Apollo and other hospitals in India later on, but the relationships and the developments that have taken place at Apollo with their public-private partnerships truly lead the world and act as an inspiration to many developing countries. But let me just tell you firstly the size of the problem. You might think it's strange for the second most populous country in the world, India, to have a significant workforce and manpower problem. But you can see globally, by the year 2030, we will need an extra 18 million healthcare workers. And this represents a gap in the total capacity to care of 20%. Now, of course, to India, 18 million people is small change. But of course, as you can see, even the richest country in the world that spends twice the OECD average on healthcare, the United States of America, by 2025 will face a shortfall of 1 million nurses and 120,000 doctors. In my own country, the United Kingdom, 1 in every 10 clinical posts is now vacant. In India, when Modi launched universal healthcare, his vision and his tenacity is superb. But you know that the World Health Organization expects you to double the number of health workers by 2030. You are nearly 4 million health workers short today. In China, when they relaxed the one-child policy 2 years ago, they forgot to tell the obstetricians. And in Japan, if you want to see the future, go visit Japan. The oldest country on the planet has been watching this problem and taking action over the last 10 years. It has trebled the number of nurses and still is 250,000 nurses short. So even if you can buy your way out of trouble, increasingly in the world, we haven't got enough health workers. And so my book, which was published in March, where Dr. Sangeeta Reddy flew into London for just one day to make a speech in front of our Secretary of State for Health and other dignitaries, there is a solution to this problem. And I believe if any one country can pioneer solutions to this global problem, that country is India. If any one organisation can pioneer solutions to the global workforce problem, that organisation is Apollo Healthcare. Now, I say that because I have worked, obviously, in India, on and off for 20 years. And the 10 solutions that I show you here today, I haven't got time to go through them, but I believe that if we implement these 10 solutions at scale, with precision and speed and sensitivity, we can solve the global workforce crisis in healthcare. Now, I believe actually when you look at Apollo or India, I can see many of these 10 solutions already being implemented, but no one country in the world implements systematically, cogently or coherently these 10 solutions. Can India be the first? I'm going to show you just one example now where we talk about new models of care which are critical to patient safety being developed at scale. And if you think about what I'm going to say very briefly, we know from the work that we did in the World Economic Forum that if you implement these 5 models of care simultaneously, you can increase productivity by between 16 and 20%. The first one, Tonic in Bangladesh. we helped Bangladesh create a telephone triage service, moving from face-to-face consultation to face-to-cloud to community. Number two, the Israeli firm, the health maintenance organisation Clalit, moving much of its care out of hospitals, packing its primary community care centres with diagnostic capability supported by artificial intelligence. We will hear Apollo's response later on this morning. Montefiore in downtown the Bronx, integrating its care between payer and provider, health and social care, aged care and hospital care. Sick Kids in Toronto, perfecting the improvement science, which is of fundamental importance to patient safety, Six Sigma and Lean. And finally, my old organisation, the University Hospital Birmingham, where I was Chief Executive for 8.5 years, pioneering artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning and cognitive augmentation. Now, I've followed Apollo over the last 20 years, and I believe that 4 of these 5 things are all already being done in some form, somehow, somewhere in India. The real trick for patient safety to solve the global workforce crisis is to do them together, because we know that India has substantial problems. But what makes this great nation great is although you are 4 million health workers short, your Prime Minister and you in this room have decided to give the people the greatest gift known to humanity, and that is healthcare. And as Prime Minister Modi said, what you're embarking on now to provide healthcare to the 100 million poorest families, which control 550 million people, is the single largest movement to universal healthcare in the history of humankind. Isn't that amazing? But your problems are substantial. You have corruption. You have false qualifications. You have medical schools that don't give proper degrees. You have too many doctors in the wrong places. And you have poor regulation of your professions. But I'm pleased to say, of course, now, that through an act of Parliament in your union, you are beginning to regulate your professions. But you can see on the slides in front of you, and I will make these slides available, that there is massive innovation in India. We know in Ariana, in Aravind, in Apollo, I could go on, that you are exploring at scale many of these solutions. And the reason why that is important, as I close my comments today, and the reason why it's so wonderful that we have people from Africa, and from Cambodia, and from Asia, and from Europe, is because this battle, this war for talent, will increase. Now imagine only 40% of the world's countries at the moment have universal healthcare, and already we are 18 million or 20% short. The United Nations, where I am going in New York in 2 weeks' time, is dedicating its session on universal healthcare, affordable care for all. Imagine the war for talent that will begin from 2020, when every country in the world has signed up to delivering universal healthcare by 2030. You must love your staff, you must treasure your staff, you must motivate your staff, and you must align your staff with new, powerful technology. We know, actually, when you create universal healthcare, you create a richer country. The Lancet has estimated for every $1 you spend building universal healthcare, you get $7 in return. You mobilise females to participate in the workforce. You improve education, research and training. You make patient safety mission critical. And you can see now from just some of these examples here that India is already starting to think about creating a medical or clinical university of the world. This is where you use technology, patient safety techniques, the latest improvement science. You have artificial intelligence, remote learning, digital learning, and you create medical or clinical campuses which embrace the world. And imagine a healthcare worker passport that allowed you to be trained in India and work in Africa, where you can earn, learn, and return. These are powerful concepts, and our own original research spanning 40 countries, looking at public-private partnerships, which are needed in the developing world, you can see now a growing number of healthcare organisations that many have looked after the richest 1% or the 3% and been very comfortable. But some organisations now, like Apollo, like Ariana, like Aravind, are now saying, yes, that's good, we'll continue to do that, but patient safety, if it's to mean anything for our population and our nation, has to be implemented at scale. And this diagram here shows you now how private organisations are starting to work with their governments through new relationships of trust and transparency. And so, as I hand on now to the next speaker, I want to leave you with just one thought. I have said at the beginning that there can be no healthcare without a workforce. I am aware of the recent strikes by nurses and doctors in India. It is important that you love your staff. You need 4 million more doctors and nurses. You will need many more through the explosion of non-communicable diseases. If we are to respect patient safety, we must value our staff. And I stand here today to value you all, to wish you joy in work and a wonderful conference. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir, for those valuable insights.
Innovation is the driving force in defining new developments. To throw more light on it, we have with us Mr. Anant Maheshwari, President Microsoft India. Mr. Anant is responsible for all Microsoft product, service and support offerings across India and continuing the company's transformation into the leading productivity and platform company for the mobile-first, cloud-first era. Mr. Anant's role in Microsoft India is pivotal as the country focuses on the growth themes in the country, including Digital India.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Can you roll the video, please?
Million births and deaths and ran Microsoft AI on it. They discovered new correlations that showed statistical increases in SIDS. And then we went to Seattle Children's with their world-class medical researchers.
Our goal is to recognize this early and prevent it from happening. The data told us there are clues that are definitely worth pursuing.
You have to bring everything together on molecular level, genetic level, and then big data level that give us hope.
We've been working together to create a genomic database that will identify many new genetic risk factors and new genes and pathways that can underlie this.
Through his DNA, my son Aaron is the first child in this database.
We can very efficiently perform genome sequencing. The challenge is often in interpreting it. Microsoft AI is extremely instrumental. We can analyze the data in a massive scale and look at signals that emerge.
Now we have a million more hypotheses that we haven't even thought of.
This database allows us to share our results and collaborate with our peers anywhere in the world.
SIDS is the unknown. That's what makes this so challenging. The genomics database is empowering researchers on all new avenues of research.
Our efforts will transform research for generations to come. I do believe we'll find answers.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm honored to be amongst this group of people, to be able to share what is happening from the world of digital to support the world of health. And really drive innovation and additive. I'm here to learn, so I'll try to share some ideas that may spark some new ideas in your minds, and together we can try to drive to find solutions that are required for problems in healthcare that all of us face around the world, especially in India. I think Mark earlier spoke a lot about the challenges that exist around the world, and India actually presenting a very, very large proportion of those challenges, which can provide new solutions for healthcare around the world. if you just look at it, the rapid advance of disease, and especially chronic diseases, in an aging population in India, the inability to build facilities fast enough to cater to this, as was pointed out also in terms of the challenge of the health workers who support the number of doctors, nurses, and a relative infinite number of people, that we have to cater to. With all of that, you've got to ask yourself, how do we try to do something very different? It has to be a rethink. It cannot be progress as usual. It cannot be business as usual. To just provide a frame of how to even think about it, we have to pivot harder to think about prevention, prediction, accessibility, and affordability, all at the same time. These cannot be individual pieces that work in different directions. Let me just share some examples of how some of these challenges are being tackled around the world. Just an idea around prevention. Microsoft Premonition, this is really combining the power of robotics and genomics coming together, where you can look for pathogens, where you can look for signals in the environment to identify is there disease around, and therefore can be communicated. And combine that with the power of genomics to really then apply solutions and prevent the spread of disease, even critical ones like Ebola, chikungunya, or Zika. And that is something that two fields are coming together to do. You look at the power of prediction. Later in the day, we'll hear about the path-breaking work that Apollo is doing in the cardiovascular disease, in really looking at the index through which, and the API through which you can apply and prevent the incidents that can be life-threatening. When you look at accessibility, the work that we are seeing being done by Fortis Healthcare in India, where we are bringing the power of eye care in an affordable format in areas where you will get the power of AI in edge devices and machines, but you still may not be connected to the internet. But you still get that power so that can help not a specialist doctor, but even somebody who is trained enough to help and provide that eye care in remote parts of India. And finally, advancing genomics. The video at the beginning was cut short a little bit, but I think it really talked about life-threatening diseases where genomics can really help in driving cutting-edge innovation. Just a little while back, just about 10 years back in 2007, the price for sequencing a single human genome was $2 million. Today, it's below $1,000. It's very important to look at that barrier of price, how it is rapidly coming down. And if you can now imagine a time when a human genome can be as accessible maybe as a regular blood test. And from there you have the data, which you can then leverage to create completely new solutions at a scale and pace which is unprecedented. So that's really the advancing genomics capability that is coming in to pretty much rethink all of healthcare. As we think about all of these ideas and the work that is happening, I'm reminded something that our leader always tells us. Ours is not an industry that respects tradition. It only respects innovation. And therefore, it's important to ask ourselves, how do we even think differently? It does start with bold ideas. And I will talk about these other 4 principles in a bit, but I want to bring just one simple idea that can change lives dramatically. Please roll the video.
replicate this and go to a great start. But I tend to kind of just avoid doing sketching or writing now because it's not really worth it if you get something like that. Anything you could do that would just make my hand do what I want it to do and that's sign my name would be an incredible thing.
How do we just begin to help her overcome this particular symptom of her tremors and helping her be able to regain her writing ability, her drawing ability? So what I'm doing is I'm making a very rough prototype, and what this board does is I can connect it into it through these wires, these tiny coin cell motors. So these motors will vibrate. I personally think that what this is doing is it's short-circuiting whatever feedback loop there is between the brain and the hand that's causing the tremors. So the idea is if you are distracted by the vibration, are you able to write better? I don't know. It's affecting something and I don't quite know what's happening. I'm on something, right? I'm on something.
I couldn't have said this. That was Emma, a very young graphic designer who got the power of creativity, of everything that she could give back to humanity with the power of that small coin-sized motor in a watch-sized device on her hands. And I think that's the power of bold ideas that we have to bring to every human being on the planet. As we do that, and as the world is changing, I think it's even more important today that we think about trust. And as we talk about trust of data, of digital really coming around us, of depending not just from a transparent way of contributing to that data, but also taking it back where we drive the notions of privacy, of security, and also in a complex environment, regulatory that is different in different geographies in the world. It is going to be one of the biggest challenges as the world of digital and genomics works with the world of on-the-ground healthcare. I spoke already about scale, and I think in a country like ours, where you see scale in everything, we will have greater opportunities to drive this power where we can solve big problems because data and digital can bring a lot of that scale to play. And finally, let me just speak and close with a basic value, at least that we work with when we drive this innovation, of being optimistic and being inclusive. And that is very critical because we've got to solve for everyone. Please roll the video.
My name is Ian. I'm Taylor. My name is Owen, and I'm 9.5 years old.
So Owen was born with a rare genetic disorder called Escobar syndrome.
He's had 33 surgeries to date.
I love video games, my friends, my family, and again video games.
It's his way of interacting with his friends when he can't physically otherwise do it.
What I like about the adaptive controller is how everyone flame. And you can just say, alright, that's that one, that's that one, that's that one. Perfect.
One of the biggest fears early on is how well will he be viewed by the other kids? He's not different when he plays.
No matter how your body is or how fast you are, you can play. It's a really good thing to have in this world.
When everybody plays, we all win. And I think that brings me to the final thought, at least, that drives every one of us in our world and helps us think about the impossible and achieve that impossible. It is our mission that is to empower every person and every organization on this planet to achieve more. We do that with powerful organizations like Apollo, where we are committed to the same cause in really driving to create these solutions at scale. Once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, and look forward to learning today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
We all like to live in a world which has no imperfections and are constantly trying to make a perfect world. So let's imagine a perfect world today. I would like to invite Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals Enterprise Limited. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy is the global healthcare influencer, healthcare technocrat, social entrepreneur, and humanitarian. Passionately committed to transforming healthcare systems through technological advancements and accelerating positive transformation for effective healthcare service delivery. MAM is focused on setting benchmarks in futuristic healthcare projects enabling IoT, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and blockchain. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, namaste and good morning. It is so difficult when there's so much to say and so much that you feel, and yet it is so inspiring to see all of you. I've been given this topic of imagine, and I heard that it was said in Sanskrit that what is seen by the inner eye, if it's felt in the heart, can soon be seen by the outer eye of not just the individual, but of everyone. And I think it was our chairman who taught us how to dream in the day and to make those dreams and visions and imaginations a reality. So today I'm going to very quickly, because I know there's so many wonderful speakers after us and the main event is really coming next, I'm going to very quickly share with you a few thoughts and a few visions of how all of us can imagine together so that the world can see something special. So let's imagine a perfect world. Let's imagine how we can move to a different level of universal health access. How can we make every single person have geographic and financial access to the best of care? Do we use technology, connected systems? Can we take healthcare into the cloud and then take healthcare into the community? Can we find ways to use every single skill set of every single sector to create this concept of universal health access, whether they're in a remote area, whether you need to take a drone to fly that life-saving medicine, whether you will empower the healthcare worker because you will give him that knowledge right there, or you will give him the equipment and the capability to do something. Let's imagine universal healthcare in a way that only we can dream first in our mind and then make a reality. Once we've got our universal healthcare of financial and geographic access, let's say that this may be a little tough to do. So how do we change the game of healthcare? By focusing on the social determinants of health. So we imagine that everyone has access to clean drinking water, to sanitation, to hygiene, that we're not filling our hospitals with dengue and chikungunya, but we're finding ways to clean, make the environment better, give ourselves better nutrition, use epigenetics and some of the latest and yet some of the oldest knowledge to bring back. And before we speak, we must do, because we want to be the change. This is Aragonda, our village where our chairman was born. where we are not just taking care of the healthcare of 60,000 people from birth through life, through screening, through diagnosis, through nutrition, through sanitation. Let's focus on primary healthcare for everyone so that the burden of disease itself reduces. Let's imagine that world where we need to do less curing because we've cared enough to create primary healthcare. Moving on, I think one of the most important aspects of health is really the environment we live in. And in this environment of traffic, of pollution, of stress, of garbage, of plastic, 1/7 of our oceans will be full of plastic. Can we recycle? Can we enable our footprint to be softer? And each one of you will see in your kids that we're not just gifting you the pleasure of just all being together, but also gifting you a tree that we may plant and we may keep in our environment. So let's imagine a cleaner, greener, safer, environmentally sound world that we all live in together, that creates less stress. And these are models which are happening across the world. They're doing it in small pockets. Let's imagine it for the world, that we will have this new environment. Moving on, I know that Mark spoke extensively about something which is the most important in healthcare and something that I have for the last 29 years in healthcare felt, and that is the people. It is our workforce that makes healthcare what it is. It is this healthcare which heals patients, which cures patients, which alleviates pain, and then imagines how we can do more. So let's imagine this new workforce where there are enough doctors, there are enough nurses, there is enough technology enabling them, because the future of healthcare is not just about this, but it's about teams. It's about working together in a connected world, and it's about learning the new skills and the new techniques which are required. So whether we're using immersive learning, or whether we're using robots, or whether we're finding ways to learn from our phone, or to learn from imaging, which happens all the time. But in this new environment, where the mobile and the SIM and the support that can happen in SIM labs, I visualize that we will have enough people, that the 18 million workforce shortage, which could go up further, can actually come down. Number one, because India may become the young India, may help to heal the aging world. Number two, because the entire nurses, paramedics will move up in their skills and move up in their roles. And in this enhanced roles, will doctors become free and idle? No, they will not. Because science is moving and changing, and doctors will move one level further to go beyond clinical care to research and to education. Because the margin for error today is zero. We must train more. We must practice in simulated environments more so that we find this new healthcare. So I visualize and dream and imagine together for all of you a new workforce of the future, which is empowered with knowledge, which works in teams, which is adequate, and most importantly, a workforce which is respected. I grew up watching my father as a doctor receive every day. One day he brought home mangoes which a patient had brought. Another day he brought home pickles. And then the third day he brought home putarekulu. And we said, what is this, Dad? And he said, it's not about the mangoes and the sweets. It's about the love. It's about the respect. And so I mostly imagine a workforce where patients love, trust, respect, and care for the workforce. And that is the future that we will imagine together. Moving on, I think that we're here at an IT and a patient safety conference. Health technology is transforming what we do. I imagine a world where there will be no joint replacements. And why do we not need that surgery? Because we would have proactively found when the cartilage is slightly degenerating, and we would have put in a biosimilar so that you will never need to ever wear out your joints. We imagine a world where you won't make large incisions because microbots will cure you, and through CRISPR technology, the DNA which is creating disease representation will be completely removed. And therefore, if you ever need any small kind of surgery, it will be done non-invasively, it will be done painlessly, it will be done at the cellular level, and all treatments will protect healthy cells, will diagnose faster, quicker, painlessly, And whether it's a medical pod to create an instant diagnosis of a cancer, or it's something that goes into the remote village, technology will go into the cloud, technology will go into the community. This is the future of health technology. But all this that we look at, maybe we will solve all the problems that we have, but then some new ones will come. We will integrate with research in a completely different and amazing manner. Because it's important for us to note that the operating mechanism of nature is not binary, as is today's technology, it is quantum. In hermetically sealed labs in many places in the world, quantum computers are being created. The speed of what we're computing, thinking, learning, transmitting is going to become quantumly faster and better. And it is in this era of evolved thinking, of greater cures, of more holistic partnerships, where we need to imagine that there will be no suffering. No one will die for want of an organ because we will grow organs. Nobody will want for blood because we will be able to create them. And health technology and research will move faster, better, quicker to bring cures from the scientific labs into the bedsides. But to imagine all these is not enough, we need reality. And for reality, we need people like all of you in this audience to work and make this happen. But we also need leadership. We need governance. We need people coming together. We need leaders of the world, yes. And all of you, the organizations like WHO and CHIME, global leaders who have imagined how they can take their countries and their governments to new levels, whether it's universal care or it's further, to now rethink how can public and private be a seamless ecosystem? How can we reimagine the technology that connects hospitals and clinics, the home, and put the patient in the center of everything we do, so that the future of healthcare is about seamless connected care. The future of healthcare goes into homes where you can heal and cure, and these are clean homes, and these are connected homes. And whether this home is one day in the cloud, or the cars are one day in the cloud and you're moving, it's important for us to imagine that leadership thinks of healthcare first. So when countries measure their GDP, let them put one line of measurement more significantly and more importantly, and that is let us measure the health index of the country even before we measure its GDP. When leadership brings that, then I think all of us have won, and the world has won a new generation of better healthcare. Finally, and most importantly, I think we must imagine that everything we do in healthcare is about bringing health and happiness. It's about bringing smiles on people's faces. It's about children having the faith and the hope that we can all be together and they will see their parents and their grandparents grow old. But I also think it's for all of you to know in this room that maybe you, but definitely your children, are going to live to be past 100 years old. So let's imagine, let's innovate, let's inspire each other. Let's find ways to create this healthier, happier world. But most importantly, we're here together, and I'm humbled by the presence of all of you. Let's co-create this healthier, happier world. Thank you all so much for your friendship and partnership. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am.
The very concept of Apollo Hospitals Group was born with the need of bringing healthcare to our people. We have also, over the last 4 decades, brought unique services touching over 150 million lives. Today, you will witness the new initiative that is poised to bring paradigm shift to healthcare and empower individuals to take charge of their health. On behalf of 80,000 Apollo family members, I am extremely proud to share our chairman's vision.
ProHealth, promoting health, delivering happiness.
And to tell you more about this exciting breakthrough, may I now request Ms. Upasana Kamini, Vice Chairperson, Apollo Foundation, Apollo Hospitals Enterprise Limited, a well-known wellness champion, to enlighten us about this exciting initiative.
Good morning. I'm really proud and happy to be a part of all of you here today, and today we are going to create history. It's a memorable day for all of us here and the Apollo family. Many believe my grandfather's dream was to set up Apollo hospitals, but I know this was just a milestone he's happy to achieve. His zest for healthcare cannot be satiated only at this. He inspires us continuously with the need to innovate, the need to save lives and make people happier. His real mission is to empower doctors of the future. Doctors who will no longer treat humans with drugs, but will rather cure and prevent disease by prescribing lifestyle modifications and personalized nutrition. Apollo ProHealth was born out of this passion. The passion to care for lives and not just cure them. A life enhancement tool focused more on changing your habits than on prescribing medicine. We realized we needed to change people's mindset. Health was not valued till sickness snuck in. And once sickness came in, it came in with a bang and tossed the carefree life we once enjoyed. Many decades ago, Apollo was the first to start the personalized health check. We all know prevention is better than cure. With the launch of Apollo ProHealth, Apollo is shaping the next frontier of healthcare. It's perhaps the world's first ever real predictive and preventive program. In 3 years, your health status will shift from risk to no risk. The greatest medicine of all is to teach people how not to need it. Apollo ProHealth is hinged on 3 key pillars. It predicts your health status, it then works to prevent your health risks, and further ensures you overcome health barriers. This PPO standard of health sets you on a health journey that brings great quality to your life. Your health is an investment, not an expense. And I truly believe this is an affordable, easily adaptable, and an admirable tool. Apollo ProHealth is laced with the most modern medical technology, data-driven analytic tools based on a strong data bank, covering over 20 million health checks conducted in over 4 decades at Apollo's illustrious history. The health analytics is based on Indian health conditions, so the health meridians are relatable, customized to Indian sensitivities, incorporating the health benefits of Bendakai, Veerakai, and Kakakai, personalized to adapt to our lifestyles. In this instant age of convenience, everything must be available with the click of a button. Let it be food, let it be anything under the sun. This is super, but it's also opening up a lot of time and mind space. How do we manage this mind space? We must use technology as an enhancement tool for personal growth and well-being. This well-being move can shift us from being a normal human being to a superhuman being. Our technology keeps you engaged and on track through the 3 years. This app is unique and a multitasking companion that's a one-stop shop to ensure a smart goal of proactive health. The most important thing is, this is an app that I promise you will keep you engaged for 3 years. A lot of us download apps and delete them, but trust me, you will keep wanting to go back to this. The most important aspect of ProHealth is it's fully personalized. The health risk assessment predicts all the things that are important for you in your life today. If you know, you can cure. If you're cured, then you can lead a much happier and more successful life. Your life tracker is your personal exam. It's not only kids that need to write their exams, you need to write your health exam regularly as well. Tatagaru's dream of care before you cure is a reality now. Apollo ProHealth makes our world a place to live happily ever after, a place where we can lead a quality life and respect ourselves. Apollo ProHealth is your armor to fight NCDs. It's a war you can wish to win or lose. The choice is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Upasana. Now, inspired by this vision, Dr. Mark Britnell will share his thoughts with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have dedicated almost 30 years of my professional career to healthcare, and this is one of my proudest moments. The holy grail of healthcare is to be wise before illness, not after it. And you just heard a wonderfully powerful speech from the Reddy family talking about the significance of the launch that you're witnessing today. I believe this will be a fundamentally important day for not only healthcare in India, but potentially healthcare in the world. If this service and this application, which is both human and artificial in nature, can be built at scale, this is truly a world first, coming from Apollo and from the great nation of India. This application and service can transcend regional boundaries, national boundaries and global boundaries. Because if you can be wise before an illness, not after it, the potential for universal healthcare, to bring affordable healthcare to the masses, is within our grasp. Now, I have known Dr. Reddy for over 2 decades, and I know, speaking to him yesterday, that his dream as a cardiologist back in 1973, I don't think any of you were born in 1973 apart from the front row, but in 1973 he had a dream to create a service which talked about promotion and prevention as much as treatment. And today that dream has been realised. Not only do I think this is a world first, but I also do think it's got the potential to help nations solve this issue about universal healthcare. And so I give you Dr. Reddy, a man who is a healer, a man who is a pioneer, and a man who is a visionary, and most of all, a man who is my friend. Good luck to you, Dr. Reddy, and what you are launching today, may the whole world be proud of, as well as India as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dr. Reddy.
Namaste. All the distinguished faculty, the delegates from across the country and the world. It's a very momentous day for us. 40 years, 80s, early 80s, we fought for bringing adequate quality health care to our country. And because I lost a young man, I'm a cardiologist, I lost a young man who couldn't afford cardiac surgery. He was supposed to go to Houston to my good friend, late Rental Cooley, for his cardiac bypass surgery because no acceptable surgical program was available in India at that time. Unfortunately, I lost him 3 months later. You know why? He couldn't raise $50,000. He left behind a 31-year-old wife, 4-year-old daughter, 2-year-old son, absolutely stunned. I thought to myself, how many more are going to die because they can't raise $50,000 and why should they? If Indian doctor, Indian scientist, Indian engineer, Indian IT person can work all over the world, why not we do that back home? Some thought it was crazy, but the governments, after I don't know how many it should really, it was easier to deal with the prime ministers and the secretaries. Sometimes the undersecretary will say, I'm very busy for 3 days, come after 3 days. So finally, in 1983, September 18th, our late President Gandhi Jail Singh, who himself had a bypass at Houston, he inaugurated the hospital. He said he had only a half hour to come, but believe me, he spent 2.5 hours. Comparing this to what Cooley's program was. And I'm happy today that not just Sapporo, for the various changes that reforms that I could bring at that time. There are many wonderful hospitals, clinics, diagnostic centers who predict and treat most diseases, not just heart. And at Apollo, we have done more than 170,000 coronary bypass surgeries with 4 C's. In healthcare, we need the 4 C's. First is clinical excellence. Our outcomes are as good as any center anywhere in the world. And the second and third thing is patient expects, because he has come from home, they expect that care and compassion. It was not difficult to give in India because most of the people have that care, compassion within them. And finally, it's the cost. So I think we solved these four problems, and in the last 30 years, in many aspects, we have touched whatever is happening anywhere in the world, and having done more than 120, touched the lives of more than 120 million lives was very wonderful. I could be very satisfied with this and retired, but at this age, I thought to myself, reading every day in the newspaper, and World Bank, World Economic Forum gave a first statement saying, by the end of this decade, 80% of the people will die of NCDs. And I said, what is these NCDs? And they said NCDs are the diseases which we commonly see: diabetes, heart problems, stroke, cancer, infections. I said these 5 diseases will kill 80% of the deaths will be from this. And then the cost burden of this is going to be $30 trillion for the world. And for our country, India, it is $4.8 trillion. If you translate it into our GDP, it is going to be 50% of the GDP. You know what we are spending in India on our health care? The government spends was spending 1%, and the public was spending 5%. Now, they increased that 1 to 1.25% of the GDP. So what are we thinking of spending 50% to lose 80% of our people? So this is what struck me, and continuously this was haunting me. Then the UN called a conference. Unfortunately, I could not go along with our health minister. Preeta, my daughter, went. Our health minister promised we will do 100 million health checkups and detect disease early. But nothing happened. But today, after all thoughts, I said we must find a solution because we have already lost 1 year. To be able to do it by 2020 because we are already seeing the effect of it. 60% of the deaths today are from NCDs. And as I said, all of these diseases are curable. We have demonstrated in my village. I come from a small village in Chennai. We demonstrated that all the patients there, their diabetes have been corrected and they are nearly normal. All the hypertensions have been monitored well, and then more importantly, the cancer are detected early so that they can be normal. 14 cancers they detected, 9 in women, 5 in men, and all operated early so that they lead a normal life. Infections, of course, what's aggravating is our environment. We need to work on a non-polluted world. That I think everybody will put their heads together. Maybe this decade and next decade that should happen. Anyway, this is what prompted me saying, what can we do for this? The only thing that we have done for it is what I did 40 years ago. 40 years ago, we thought of what we saw mass health checkup. First time in the world, we invented a health checkup program. I had a good friend called David Bollick from Springfield, Missouri. We were very dear friends. He just wanted to come to India 3-4 years after we came back, saying we must spend 10 days with Dr. Reddy. So one of those days I told him, it's like a story, but please take the sense of it. I told him, I said, David, what we are seeing are complications of diabetes, hypertension, all of these diseases. Can we not identify the original cause early and treat that instead of treating a heart attack, treat the causes of heart attack and prevent them from getting heart attack. Prevent cancers by treating them early. So this is how we found that mass health checkup. Unfortunately, I didn't patent it. Everybody started a mass health checkup, even for 20 therapies. I don't mind. They have done it for 2 rupees, but it lost purpose. So then we did called Apollo Personalized Health Check, which we are doing. Thanks to the artificial intelligence company, we've done about 22 million health checks so far on that program. Thanks to DXC, I think the chairman is here, thank you. They have now worked on our collection of nearly 5,000-6,000 medical records and brought out a personalized health check for people. If I draw blood from 2 people, it varies from one to the other what exactly he needs to find out the basic defect in him. Once we find out what his problem is, it's not difficult. It's not a miracle afterwards. The miracle is to find out what's wrong with him, what will produce a disease pattern later on. So this is what we thought we will spread to the world. Today we launched, my granddaughter unveiled the Pro Health. I hope with that good hand, all the youngsters and the middle-aged people who are liable to have this will do. What we have at Apollo we have done, I want to tell you because I want each and every one of you to take an oath that you will do it for yourself. See what we have done about 7 months ago when this first struck me, I told my board for all our 80,000 Apollo family members and their dependents, which is about 200,000, who must do the complete checkup, have continuous monitoring for them through health mentors and call doctors and all other necessary faculty to see that their disease is controlled first year, cured by second year, third year, when they are enjoying health and happiness, I said I want to have the pleasure of sending a cake to their house. This is what we have done. Thank you for your class, but that's not enough. Thank you again for your class, but again what I said was, claps are not enough. I want all of you to take a decision that you will look after yourself and your family, go for a thorough checkup, and follow this program of Pro Health for 3 years. Once it becomes a habit, you will become a naturally healthy person. So this is where I said, I want all of you to look after you and your family, and the people who work with you, or the corporate heads, like we have done for our 200,000 Apollo family members. First our finance people said, you know, it's going to cost us so much money. I said, do you know the cost of a person? I hope some of you have known this. The professor from Yale University analyzed various parts of our body and put a price to each of these. To brain, he said there are 780 billion neurons, and put a price to that. He went on like that, and it all added up to, can anybody guess? It added up to a stunning $6,000 trillion. That is what each one of you are worth. And to spend a little money to keep that tremendous structure, I believe in God. It is God has given us. Those who don't believe God, say Creator has given you this tremendous structure. You must keep it well. Not only for yourself, you must keep your family and your dependents and your people who work with you. If you all do that, that class, what you did now, would really satisfy me. But your second class was good. I wanted every part of the country to listen to a class. Now can we really get a class saying, yes, we will all take this oath. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really thankful to you. What we propose is, we're now doing for our Apollo people. Hopefully in the next 3 weeks we'll finish it. On that day we'll launch. We have over 375 physical facilities. We will first start with these physical facilities and go to the other hospitals or clinics whoever can cooperate with us, because we have the complete IT data. We know exactly what tests are done, what data they have come up to, how they should be monitored. All of these we will do in India, but my wish is, with your support, let's do it in the world.